So we'll just start with the quick disclaimer. Any advice given is general only, does not consider your circumstances, and you need to decide if it's appropriate to you. Past performance is not an indicator of future returns. And from here, we'll jump over to a quick update on the market. So as we can see right here, we're looking at the market trying to decide which side of the 50-day MA it is looking to trade on at the moment. And it seems to be right on the 50-day MA, and really if it makes a decision from there, it could dictate where the price action will be for the coming days. So it's an exciting time. And give a quick update on a few aspects of the market. So first of all, the Aussie dollar is trading at 69 US cents. We've got gold trading at 1491.62 US dollars. And we've got iron ore, 62% iron, trading at $91.37 US cents. And we'll also run through some of the IV ranks that we've got on that are showing a bit of activity in the market today. And while this is loading, if you have any questions, please put them through and I will run through them with you. We've got a few interesting ones here. For CIMIC Group has had a strong period of volatility for a while now, especially in the recent 2 months. It has been quite volatile. So we'll have a look at this one in the strategy. On the charting. There we go. So where we're at with CIM, it is an interesting one. So the volatility is high, which means you're getting quite a bit of premium for the sold legs with CIM. And it's also been flagged recently for a LITT short trade position. So it's hitting the criteria for 2 trade ideas at the moment. As you can see, if we had done a LITT short from around this period onwards, it would have ended up playing out to be quite a successful trade. And with the volatility this side down here, the implied volatility, what we're looking for is really the price to go back, sell the volatility and get a bit of profit and have the price go back between the strikes, the 2 sold strikes of your CIM trade. Was there anything specific you wanted me to discuss with CIM? Thanks for your responses, guys. So volatility, why is it so volatile? I won't be able to go into that right now. I do not have a strong fundamental understanding of CIM at the moment. But what we've seen since this, since basically the death cross here and a big price drop over some market news coming out, it did send a bit of start a bit of a downward trajectory. And what generally happens if there is a bit of a downward trajectory, it is often going to be more volatile than a rising market. The old saying, you go up on an escalator and down in an elevator, it rings very true in the stock market. And you can see with these falls, they are quite quick and there are quite a few gaps on the way down, whereas these rises, they're slow and steady, and altogether they're not necessarily adding up to much at this stage. The last few days has been a different story though, as we're looking for this to return back potentially to between the strike prices from our original iron condor trade. We'll have a look at AGL. So with AGL, similar sort of story. There's been a bit of direction and then that's starting to come back down now. And with the implied volatility, it has been fairly high compared to where it has been in the past. So once again, looking to sell this volatility and have the price eventually return back to the between the two sold legs of the iron condor. You can see here, following the death cross, there was quite a bit of volatility on the way down, and on the way up, it is slow and steady, and seems to be going through a bit of a sideways market over recent times. We'll have a look at a few of the other more volatile stocks in the market at the moment. Let's have a look. Newcrest is always an interesting one. Volatility has been increasing over the last month, starting to come back down to where it was, and over the past 3 months, it's definitely in a volatile phase. As we can see here, it's had a long run up over the last, well, it's been a good year really for Newcrest Mining. It's been flagged for lit long trades quite often. Just yesterday, it would have been flagged for managing the trade. So basically what we'd be looking to do is we'd be looking to see, is the share price above the 50-day moving average? No, it isn't. So it'll be lower than the resistance just before entry. Would have entered into this one. Depends on the day that you entered into it. Probably around here. Closes at 33.92. So this isn't lower than the resistance just before entry. It would be today that we'd be looking at potentially managing this position. So seeing where this will end up today or even during the day, if you have a bit of a feel for the market, will determine whether you would close a sold put and enter into a repair mode on Newcrest Mining. I've got a question here from Rodney. What has Ivan decided to do about was it the AGL fix? Yeah. Yeah, okay. So at the moment, it's still no change to the original rollover. And if there is a change of view, something that we'll be able to let you know through communication. Otherwise, it would just be a hold strategy all the way to the end, but we'll keep you updated. We've had a lit long flag coming through on, I believe it was yesterday. for JHX. It had also been flagged previously as early as August as well. This is right when the market was having a bit of a correction when it was initially flagged. So we're looking for the ADX to be above 20. Here we go. So we're looking at this point entering into the trade for JHX. So the market still is above the 50-day moving average, above the 200-day moving average. There's still a bit of life in this move. So at the moment we would just hold on to that bit long position. It has been flagged here again at this level. From its price action on the 9th to be flagged for a trade on the 10th. Do we have any other questions about the market or any trades? So we've got the trading scans today. JHX almost for a lit long again, and nothing else coming up there. What else have we got here? See where ASX has ended up. It's had a good run of lit longs. Yep, so the market has started to turn around with ASX below the 50-day moving average, starting to get quite, well, it looks quite volatile, but it hasn't affected implied volatility as much as it comes on its way down. And throughout this process here, it would be pretty touch and go in terms of managing the trade. And at this point, we'd definitely be looking at managing the position. Basically selling that, closing the sold put and entering into a repair on the trade. We'll have a quick look at the performance of JHX, and it has been flagged again in the original trade date of the 15th of the 8th. So we'll be looking at jumping in, going for a bit of a ride initially, jumping up, coming back down, losing some of the gains, continuing up, going back down again, and then having those breakout price movements. Until today, which is where we're at now. So with the initial trade of maximum loss of around $3,000, you'd be looking at around $2,000 profit with that lit long trade. there any other questions regarding any of the trades or the markets in general? That's all we've got for the day. Might call the session to a halt. We've got a question coming through. Let's have a look here, LLC and SGM. So it looks like they're back at an old important resistance level here with LLC gone through the golden cross, bounced off the 50-day moving average, and now trying to decide which side of that pivot point the stock should be moving on. It doesn't necessarily meet the criteria for a long trade, as it isn't going to be surpassing a 52-week high just at this stage. It'll be more up at this level. But for a short-term pivot point, this could be quite interesting for some price action over the coming days, whether it continues just trading around it, or it could have a decent sized move up, or could even have a potential gap movement in either direction, as it has done in the past, to or from this point. In terms of the upward potential, the golden cross and the upward direction of both the 200-day and 50-day moving average suggests that there is a bit of potential for this to either come back down, bounce up the 50-day MA and come back up, or continue up as it decides to go on the upside of that key pivot point. Have a look at SGM. So SGM looks interesting. It's just gone through a golden cross, and there is substantial price action and buying pressure going upwards. The ADX is quite high. It's above the 20 mark. Has been for a while, but it looks like it's starting to finally get some of that direction hitting in the on the demand side for the stock. And we're seeing the implied volatility going down for the stock as well, which can often be a positive sign for upward price appreciation. It is quite a volatile stock though, or can be quite volatile. With large, large peaks and large troughs. But the ADX does seem like it is giving a bit of a hint of direction for the stock. There's some upward potential. Could be a potential breakout trade or continuation of the breakout trade. Were there any other questions about the market or about any particular stocks or trades? Awesome. What we'll do then, we'll pull this this session to a halt. And if you do have any further questions, feel free to get in contact. You can send an email or give us a call and be happy to answer any questions you have about trading. I appreciate your time. Cheers, guys.